If you're on Social Security, got some really important updates to share with you. Take a look why millions of Social Security beneficiaries will receive bigger payments starting in April. Also, take a look at this as millions of Social Security records are changed due to Doge cuts. I'm going to let you know what's going on there, whose records are changed, and Musk shares a mind-blowing chart showing millions of non-citizens given Social Security numbers under Biden. And we rarely see the Republicans and Democrats arguing in real time about Social Security like this.
There's waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think it's equally surprising that you are assuming that the government is functioning in an efficient way when we all know.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Well, then what has...
Martha, there are inspector generals in every...
I'm going to play you that full video clip as you don't want to miss that, as it seems we don't know what's real, what's not, as we point to sources saying one thing, some senators are saying a different thing. You're going to want to see that, and I'll let you know the latest updates as well regarding your Social Security. Before diving into the main content, if you appreciate these Social Security updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Social Security updates. So, Doge cuts update today. Millions of Social Security records changed. This is as of April 1st. So we have here, as Doge announced on Monday, that almost 10 million Social Security records have now been updated. According to an ex-post, Doge said the Social Security Administration has been executing a major cleanup of records over the past 4 weeks, saying approximately 9.9 million number holders, all listed age 120 plus, have now been marked deceased. Another 2 million to go. So looks like they are changing records of the dead people collecting Social Security. Also, Musk shares a chart, which I'm going to show you in this video clip, showing that millions of non-citizens were given Social Security numbers. So I'm going to show you that video clip, then we're going to go over this article, why millions of Social Security beneficiaries will receive bigger payments starting in April. But take a look at this, as we are going to see in real time the arguments for and against Social Security Administration cuts. Is Doge telling the truth? Or is the senator telling the truth? We have a whole back and forth here. Take a listen.
So Senate Democrats launching a, quote, Social Security war room, saying that they have to protect the program from President Trump and Elon Musk. The White House says that it will not cut benefits, just waste, fraud, and abuse. Here's what one Doge volunteer told Fox and Friends they're finding when they dig into the books at Social Security.
We were in Social Security looking for fraud, waste, and abuse. And to do that, we actually looked at the enumeration system, the system by which people get numbers in America. And we found that there were just about 5+ million of them that came to the country as illegals, were giving various forms of parole or allowed in the country, and they got through an automatic system, Social Security numbers. Just because we were curious, we then looked to see if they were on the voter rolls. And we found in a handful of cooperative states that there were thousands of them on the voter rolls, and that many of them had voted.
So let's begin by bringing in Delaware Democratic Senator Chris Coons. Senator, thank you very much for being here. So it's really very interesting to hear what they're finding when they look at Social Security. And we know that Social Security is going to become insolvent in just 10 years by 2035. Here's another one. Let's just play this, and then I want to get your reaction to both of these. This is also another member of the Doge team from Bret Baier's special report discussion with them about what they were finding. Let's listen to this Doge engineer on Social Security.
When you want to change your bank account, you can call Social Security. We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters.
There are over 15 million people that are over the age of 120 that are marked as alive in the Social Security system.
And what we're trying to do is ensure that people do receive their benefits in the future. And you can only receive your benefits if the country is operating in a healthy and competent way.
Were you as shocked as I was when you heard some of those numbers, some of that information about how much fraud is happening in Social Security, Senator?
So, Martha, not only do I not believe some of what was just shared there, but the Trump administration's acting administrator of Social Security has said that less than 0.1% of the payments put out by the Social Security Administration are fraudulent or in error. Let's be clear about some of the things that were just played. There are people whose names are on the rolls as having been born 150 or 200 years ago. They're not receiving Social Security payments. So the statement that there's all these people, Martha, I'm just repeating back to you what the Trump administration, acting Social Security administrator, has said about the percentage of fraud in Social Security.
So let me ask you
Part
this.
of why I'm alarmed about Elon Musk and Doge, and they're getting into the systems and they're getting the access to the individual information of millions of Americans, is that Elon Musk has made it clear he thinks Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is itself fraudulent, fake, criminal, or illegal. I don't think Social Security is a Ponzi scheme.
Well, let me ask you something.
I think 70 million Americans depend on it for their principal source of income.
That's too bad, because
so
in 10 years,
Doge
let me
into
ask you a
Social
question,
Security
Senator. Let me ask you a question.
Tear it up,
You've made a lot of points.
Like
Let me ask you
destroyed
something.
other agencies,
Sir,
I think is immoral.
So you sound like you're pretty okay with all the agencies and how they function. So you say all those millions of people depend on Social Security, so you don't care about the ones that are going to never get it because it's going to be insolvent in 10 years. What have Democrats done? What did Joe Biden's administration do to find the waste, fraud, and abuse in Social Security to try to shore up this important agency? What did they do? Can you tell me?
Sure. So first, Martha, you are presuming widespread waste, fraud, and abuse in Social Security. You haven't offered any credible evidence to support that. I don't believe what Doge says about virtually any federal agency. But I will believe what the GAO says, or the Inspector General, or the Administrator of Social Security. Because I've had senior folks from Doge lie to my face about other federal agencies where they claim they have found widespread waste, fraud, and abuse, where previous audits did not find that waste, fraud, and abuse. And this administration, Martha, fired the Inspector General of USAID when he filed complaints about the waste of huge amounts of food aid left rotting on docks.
Let me ask you something.
Rather than dealing with that fraud, they fired him.
I'm amazed by, so you're saying that I'm assuming that there's waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think it's equally surprising that you are assuming that the government is functioning in an efficient way when we all know.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Well, then what have
Martha, there are inspector generals in every single agency that are there to find waste, fraud, and abuse.
They've done a fantastic bang-up job. I mean, when you look at the number...
And to start the administration by firing all of them does not suggest a deep interest in listening to these career, nonpartisan inspectors general about waste.
No, you can't just put your fingers in your ear and go, blah, blah, blah. It's not happening. We all know
that's not at all what I'm doing, Martha.
Is not
Let me repeat the point.
Run. And these people.
If Elon Musk says that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and this president has fired the relevant inspectors general, who are the people most capable, not a bunch of 20-year-old software engineers with no previous government experience.
People, did you watch this interview, Senator? Did you watch the interview? Did you watch this?
Accountants.
Did you watch the interview?
Which interview? I don't know what you're talking about.
The one I just
you are
played
yelling
you from.
So much.
No, I can't, because I can't get a word in edgewise. I'm trying to ask you a question. That's my job. So
you go right ahead.
There was an excellent panel on Special Report. These are not 25-year-old, whatever people have been calling them. They're very seasoned executives who have made a lot of money and run good businesses efficiently, where they only use the number of people to get the job done that they needed. They gave up their livelihood and they left their families and they came to Washington to try to give their expertise to some of these agencies that are so sclerotic and wasteful that they are not able to function. So, okay, it would be great if both sides of this, because when I remember there being an active interest by Democrats in saying, what, we know that there's a lot of waste in our government. Now you're telling me there isn't.
That's not at all what I said. I said in Social Security, the current Trump administration acting Social Security administrator has said publicly less than 1/10% of the Social Security payments are being improvident, are not being sent to people who are entitled to them.
Let's assume that you are 100% right.
I agree with you that there is waste and fraud in different federal programs, and sign me up for working in a measured, bipartisan, thoughtful way about reducing I mean, there are in Medicare,
Well, you should talk to the people on the panel here, because I think you'd be pretty impressed with many of them. I would ask you respectfully to take a look at this panel discussion, because I found it very eye-opening. It's not a bunch of like nutty 25-year-olds, as you suggested. They're actually quite thoughtful, intelligent people who have a great record of it. So let me ask you this. If it's been run so well and it's working well, Social Security, why is it going to run out of money in 10 years? The whole idea is that the investment
Martha, I
would
think you
return.
already know the answer to that.
What are you doing to make sure that it's solvent for your grandchildren and my grandchildren?
So, Martha, you already know the answer for why it is, at least in current accounting, proposed to be insolvent in 2035. That means it cannot pay the full benefits that those who have earned their way into Social Security beneficiary status are entitled to. That's because there are fewer people working and more people living longer than the model of the program provided for.
Yes, that's
it is
been true
an
for quite
earned
some
benefit.
time.
It is an earned benefit, but like anything that is an earned benefit, there are actuarial tables that say we expect Chris Coons to live to 70.
No, it really would have been
but
nice if
instead,
somebody
people are living
had
to 80.
gotten to work
and
on
so
that
they are
several years ago.
receiving more payments than the program was modeled around. There's
that
basically only 4 levers for fixing Social Security: raising how much of our income is taxed by Social Security, raising the age of eligibility.
None of what you're saying is a shock. None of it was a shock during the entire Biden administration.
That's right.
I never heard anybody say that they wanted to change this system or maybe make it slimmer or more efficient or get rid of the waste in order to make it last.
Rejected by Republicans to improve the solvency.
Yeah.
Martha, the challenge is Democrats want to make 2 changes. Republicans want to make 2 changes. Each side doesn't like the other's changes. Raising the age of eligibility or raising how much of our income is taxed. For example, 2 simple things that would improve the solvency of Social Security for decades.
All right,
Democrats
want
to do one thing, Republicans want to do another.
Understood. I got to go, but I'm sure you agree that if someone is, I'm going to find out for you. I'm going to find out how many people are over the age of 120 and are getting checks. But if that were the case, you would obviously think that that would be considered waste, correct?
If they're alive and they're entitled to checks, they
that
should
would
be getting
waste.
them.
Okay. All right. We will keep digging. I always appreciate you coming here.
Sure.
If they're alive.
Thanks, Martha.
Let's check on them and see if they're alive, and we'll get right back. Thank you very much, Senator. Always good to talk to you. Senator Chris Coons from Delaware.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
What are your thoughts there? Now, it's very confusing because we're hearing Doge saying that they're finding all this information and presenting this information. Then we have this senator saying, no, that's not correct. This information is false because of this source. So who do we believe here? We have the country divided in half, and somehow this has become a partisan issue, meaning that we have half the country believing Doge is good for Social Security, the other half saying Doge is bad for Social Security. Where do you stand? It's very confusing. So let's get into this. Why millions of Social Security beneficiaries will receive bigger payments starting in April. So the SSA is set to begin sending larger monthly payments in April to the millions of people affected by a recent change in how benefits have historically been calculated for some public sector workers. So this is going out for the 3.2 million recipients of Social Security. So they got their lump sum payments, most of them, but now the higher monthly benefits are going to be distributing in April. So if you are one of those 3.2 million people affected by the Social Security Fairness Act, you could expect bigger monthly April paychecks. So be on the lookout for that. And that is all the news that I have for today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Belle's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Belle. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you something that you should always do. Sometimes just sit on your bed or like sit at a table on like your counter and like sit down and take like 10 breaths. Breathe in and breathe out because you need yourself to feel relaxed. And that's all I wanted to tell you for today. Bye.
If you're curious when that Doge stimulus $5,000 check is going to arrive, well, Elon Musk was asked When are those checks coming? We all want to know. Hear his response in this video over here. I'll play you that video clip of exactly what Elon Musk says in terms of arrival time. So click that video now and I'll see you in that video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.